discount is a discount which is generally allowed by the seller at that particular point of time. So this discount is normally given by the seller when the customer purchases the goods in the bulk quantities or in the bulk purchases is being done. So this discount is settled at the point of the sales where it is decided and the amount is paid accordingly. So hence, as it is executed at the time of the sales, that's the reason it is not carried forward to the books of accounts later or when the books of the accounts are maintained. Now the next after that, the discount we are going to discuss here is what we call it as a cash discount. So this cash discount is a discount which has generally been allowed only in that particular case when the prompt payment is received by the debtor. Okay, so in other words we can say the cash discount is an inducement which is given to the buyer or to the debtor, so therefore they can make the quick payment of their due amount to the company or to the seller, is what we call it as a cash discount. As this discount is charged or given at the later stages, that's the reason it is shown in the books of account. And this cash discount is related to the time aspect, because the more quickly the debtor will be making up the payment, the more discount he will be getting, or he will be liable to get the discount, that is actually if he is making actually the prompt or the quick payment. Now the next here we are going to discuss how to deal with the trade discount and the cash discount in case of the journal entry. This is what we are going to discuss here. So let's discuss some practical problems on the trade discount and the cash discount through some examples. So here we are going to have some example of some transactions where we will be seeing how actually we will be dealing with the case of the cash discount and the trade discount. So the transaction here is goods purchased of list price of rupees 50,000 from Raghu at trade discount of 20%. So children, the name is given Raghu and nothing as such clearly mentioned in the question relating to any other further information as that of the cash. So in such a situation, when the name is being given, we will be assuming that particular transaction as to be a credit transaction. So hence the journal entry here will be purchases account debit to Raghu account credit. The purchases has been debited because in purchases means inflow of the goods into the business. So that means increase in the value of the assets. So hence the purchases account has been debited here. The rule of the asset is debit increase and credit decrease. And similarly Raghu is a creditor. Now the creditor is increased and creditor is a liability. So increase in the liability is creditor. Credited over here. Now the next here we are going to discuss how to deal with the treatment of the trade discount here. So the trade discount basically will be calculated on the list price. So 50,000 into 20 upon 100. So the amount for the trade discount is going to be as how much? 10,000. As you know children, we have discussed already the trade discount need not to be shown there in case of the books. So this is a reason that is actually the trade discount will be excluded from the list price by deducting it. So 50,000 minus 10,000 is the net amount payable. That is how much? 40,000. So we will be showing in the journal entry as how much here? 40,000 and 40,000. Okay children, so this is how we will be discussing about the case of the trade discount if it is given. Now the next we will be discussing about if suppose the trade discount is also been given and along with that of the cash discount is also been given. In such a situation, how to deal with the transaction is what we are going to discuss here the next. So the transaction says here goods purchased of list price of rupees 50,000 from Amar at trade discount of 20% and 5% cash discount. So children, this in this particular transaction the name is given here, but the 5% cash discount is also being given. So remember children, whenever the cash discount concept is given in the question, even if the name has been given, it means automatically we are supposed to consider that the cash is either paid or received. Okay, so being the name has been given but still 5% cash discount concept is being used. So this basically means here that we are supposed to pay or we have paid the amount. That's the reason the cash discount, if mentioned, we need to assume here. So here, the journal entry will be purchases account debit to discount received account credit to cash. Okay, why the purchases has been debited here? Because as we have seen already, the inflow of the goods means increase in the value of assets, and increase in the value of assets means it is to be debited. That's the rule. And the discount received is credit. Discount received credit. Why? Because children, in case of a purchases, we are getting a discount because the seller is allowing us a discount, or the seller is giving us a discount. That means we are supposed to pay the less amount, so it's a benefit for us. So in case of a purchases, the discount is an income. That's the reason it's credited. Vice versa, in case of a sales, the discount is an expenses, so therefore it has to be debited. So the journal entry will be purchases account debit to discount received account credit to cash. Why do we or why we have mentioned the cash over here? What's the basic reason? Because the question says the 5% cash discount is being given to to the customer, or means we are getting the 5% discount over here. The basic reason, because cash discount means, that means we have made the payment well in advance. So this is the reason we will be mentioning here as what, that is to cash. Now let's see calculate the amount. As you know, the first important thing we are supposed to do here in these type of the questions is we need to calculate the trade discount first. So we have calculated the trade discount on the list price 50,000. So 20% of 50,000 is 10,000. And children, that is the amount of the trade discount need not to be shown in the books. That means it has to be excluded from the list price. So the next here is amount after charging the TD is going to be as how much? 40,000. How it's 40,000? 50,000 minus 10,000. Now that means this 40,000 is the value of the amount which we are supposed to pay to the seller, okay, or to Amar, what we can say it here. Now out of that, as we have made the payment well in advance, because as such nothing has been mentioned in the question, so we'll assume that the entire whole amount has been paid. So we are getting how much? 5% of the cash discount. So the cash discount will be calculated under 40%. So hence the discount we got here is 2,000. That means instead of paying 40,000, now we are supposed to pay as how much? 38,000. Okay children, now let's substitute the amount there in the journal entries. Purchases means the list price excluding the discount, or the list price minus discount will be shown in purchases. So that's the reason we will take it here 40,000. And the discount received just be calculated is how much? 2,000. And the final amount out of 40,000, after reducing the discount, how much we are supposed to pay? That is 38,000. Okay children, so there are two ways to calculate it. What you can do is, like, actually you can calculate the amount through this way also. And suppose if you have written all the amount in the journal, and the basic rule of the journal, the debit should be equal to that of the credit. So suppose in the debit we have got the amount, and the credit only one account is missing, and rest if we know it, so we can calculate the value for that particular credit amount through balancing. So I can get the 38,000 here by doing 48,000 minus 2,000 also, because only the cash amount is missing. So even in this way also, I can just calculate is 40,000 minus 2,000 also, I can get the value here as how much? 38,000. In either of the cases, whatever the way you are opting, the answer should be the same, remember. So this is actually a concept where the entire whole amount has been paid, and that is 5% cash discount has been availed. Now the next transaction here we are going to discuss about where the partly payment has been done. Okay, so this particular transaction says goods purchase of list price of rupees 60,000 from Amar at trade discount of 20% and 5% cash discount, and paid 40% of the amount by check. So this particular transaction says that we purchased the goods of rupees 60,000, on which 20% we got the trade discount at the particular point of a sale, and 5% cash discount, and that is actually the total amount just we paid. That's how much, that is is 40% immediately. So we got the discount on the amount 40%, because you know the rule of the cash discount. Cash discount is only given if the amount is paid or received. Okay, for the credit amount, the cash discount is never ever given. So our journal entry is purchases account debit to discount received account credit to bank account credit to Amar account credit. Children, you know why the purchases has been debited? Because inflow of the goods, so increase in the value of the assets, and you know the rule, increase in the value of the assets has to be debited. And we just discussed in the previous transaction, discount received is credited. The reason, because in case of a purchases we are benefited. So in case of a purchases we will always find the discount being credited, and in case of the sales the discount being debited. Now the next is to bank. Why to bank has been written here? Because we are making the payment of the amount through the check. Okay, so that's the reason here it is to bank. Okay, now in case of the bank, how much amount we are supposed to show? We are supposed to show the 40% of the amount, and you know excluding the discount. Now why I have written here as to Amar account? The basic reason, as you can see in the question, clearly the question says, you know, the 40% of the payment has been made, but actually still 60% remaining. So this still 60% remaining is a credit. So that's the reason we have written here as what? That is to Amar. So this is a part of the journal entry just now we completed. Now let us see how to substitute the amount here. So what are the calculation required for that? So that's what we are going to discuss here. The first thing, as you know children, we are supposed to exclude the trade discount. So we calculated the trade discount on the list price 60,000 into 20 upon 100. So the value of the trade discount we got here as how much? That is 12,000. Okay children, so therefore what is the amount after charging the TD? The amount after charging the TD here comes as how much? 60,000 minus 12,000 is equals to 48,000. So it means eventually the 48,000 is the net amount payable, means the net amount which we are supposed to pay. But you know the question says out of that 48,000 only how much of the amount has been paid by us? Well, in advance, that is only 40%. So therefore that is how much? 40% of the 48,000 is equals to 19,200. That's paid. That means we are supposed to receive the discount on this very particular amount, 19,200. And next, unpaid amount, hence it means what? That is a 60% of 48,000, which is equals to 28,800. Okay children, now the next thing here it comes is we are supposed to calculate the cash discount. Cash discount is always calculated on the amount either which is paid or received. So here the amount which we have paid is how much? That is 19,200. So on 19,200 we will be calculating the cash discount 5%. So we got the value as how much? 5% of 19,200, that is 960. Okay, so then after that the next thing here it comes is we are supposed to substitute the value, the final net amount. Instead of making the payment of 19,200, how much we are supposed to make the payment? We are supposed to make the payment 19,200 minus 960, which is equals to 18,240. Okay children, so it's very clear now. Now let's substitute these amounts in the journal entry. So purchases, always it will be shown with the amount after deducting the trade discount. Then after that, what is the amount we are going to have it here? That is 48,000. Discount received already be calculated. How much? 960. And in case of the bank account, so that means how much amount exactly to be paid by us? We have paid how much? 18,240, because though the due amount is 19,200, but we have made the payment well in advance. So we got a discount of 960. So finally now after excluding the discount, we are supposed to pay 18,240. And now the next thing here it comes is how much is the amount unpaid? It's very clear. On this unpaid amount, no discount needs to be charged and nothing need to be done. Got it? Okay, so the unpaid amount here it comes is how much? 28,800, which we are supposed to show in front of the Amar. Okay children? This can calculated in this way also. We can do like that, 48,000 minus 960 plus 18 to 40. That way also you can calculate it, because you know the rule of the journal, the debit should be equal to that of the credit. Or another way you can logically calculate in this way also. Hence the amount in front of the amount that we are supposed to write down here is how much? 28,800. Now next, after that, a particular this very particular transaction, we are going to discuss the same concept related to that of the sales. So let's go through this very particular transaction. So this transaction says here the date should be Jan 6 instead of the Jan 2. Remember children? So this goods sold to Harish at the list price of rupees 80,000 less 20% trade discount and 10% cash discount, and received 20% by check. Okay children, so this particular transaction says we have sold goods to Harish and the list price of the goods is 80,000 and less 20% trade discount and 10% cash discount, and received 20% by check. So it means that is actually, you know, the whole payment is not being received by Harish, only 20% of the payment has been received. Okay, so that means not we are that not by Harish. That means the sold goods to Harish stands for what? That is, we have sold the goods to Harish and you know we have received only the 20% payment, and the remaining 80% of the payment we have not received here. So the journal entry for here it's going to be the Harish account debit, discount allowed account debit, bank account debit, to sales account credit. Okay children, make a note of this. The date should be here Jan 6 instead of the 2. Just make a correction for this. So Harish account debit, why it is being debited over here? Because Harish is a debtor for the 80% of the amount which is still unpaid. And as we have discussed already, in case of the sales, the discount has been an expense. This is the reason the discount allowed, or the discount is actually debited over here. And you know the 20% of the amount is actually received by us. So therefore it means increase in the value of the bank balance, increase in the value of an asset. And you know when the asset increases, it has to be debited. Then to sales, the to sales means outflow of the goods, so therefore decrease in the value of the assets, that means it has to be credited. So the journal entry would be Harish account debit, discount allowed account debit, bank account debit, to sales account credit. Now let us see how to use the concept of the trade discount and the cash discount over here. So in case of a working note, we will be just mentioning here, the first thing we are supposed to do is we need to calculate the trade discount. So we calculated the trade discount on the list price of 80,000, and how much it is? It is 16,000. Okay children, so let's exclude the trade discount because it need not to be shown in the books of the account. So hence the net amount receivable is how much? 80,000 minus 16,000, which is equals to 64,000. Okay children, now out of the 64,000, you know this thing that how much amount is actually received by us, you know, because we have sold the goods, that means we will be receiving. So how much amount we just received here? We received only the 20% of the 64,000. So the net amount received by us is 12,800, and the amount which is not received by us is how much? 80,000, or 80% of 64,000, you know, that is 51,200 is what? That's what we have not received. Okay children, now the next year it comes is we will be calculating the cash discount. You know the rule for calculation of the cash discount, it has to be charged only on that particular amount, you know, which is either received or paid. So here the amount which is received by us is how much? That is 12,800. So 10% on 12,800 is how much? 1,280, because the rate of the cash discount is 10%. Now finally, after excluding, what is the amount finally to be received? Because we have given a discount of 1,280. So out of the 12,800, the amount which we are supposed to receive here is how much? 11,520. Okay. So as this discount in case of a sales is an expense for us, this is the reason, you know, that the discount allowed account is debited here. So now let's substitute the amount there in the journal. In front of the Harish, you know, 51,200 is the amount. You know, it's very clear which we are not able to receive. Discount we have already calculated, that is 1280. And in case of the bank account, the final amount after charging the discount which we will be receiving here will be how much? 11,520. And in case of the sales, the amount will be how much here? Excluding the trade discount is 64,000. So this is how the journal entry in case of the sales will be executed. Means the concept of the trade discount and the cash discount will be the same. Only actually in the journal entries, the debit and the credit of the accounts will change when it's a sales. I hope so that this concept is clear to you children. And after going through this very particular concept of the trade discount and the cash discount, please solve these assignment questions here based on the same concept, and please do send it to me after solving it. As the transaction number says, goods purchased of the list price of rupees 50,000 at trade discount of 10%. Very simple, just we have discussed. Same, goods sold of list price of rupees 80,000 at trade discount of 10%. The third is goods purchase of list price of rupees 1,20,000 from Mohan, less 20% trade discount and 5% cash discount. And the fourth is goods sold of list price of rupees 2 lakhs at trade discount of 10% and cash discount at that is 2%. Okay, so therefore it's clear. I mean, whenever the transaction nothing is mentioned, so we will assume it as that the entire whole amount has been either received. Okay, if it's a sale, it will be received, and if it's purchases, it will be paid. And the goods purchase of list price of rupees 80,000 at trade discount of 10% with 2% of cash discount, and paid the 30% of the amount by check. Okay children, so whenever the check is there, so don't forget to use the term bank over here. Okay, and now the next few more transaction which we are supposed to do it here is goods sold to Ramesh at the list price of rupees 80,000 less 20% trade discount and 4% cash discount, and received 50% of the amount by check. And the next here is the goods purchase of list price of rupees 40,000 at trade discount of 10% and 5% cash discount, and the amount paid is 60% of the amount in cash. The ninth transaction is goods sold of list price of rupees 4 lakhs at trade discount of 20% and cash discount at 5%. Okay, that is received 80% of the amount. I guess, I mean, that is these transactions you can do it here. Just please solve these transactions and do submit it to me, because that is actually, this is the assignment which you will be solving it and submitting it.